Hi guys, welcome back to Pointy Not Sharp. By popular request, I've received probably 7 or 8 comments recently asking to have a look at my whole collection. I'm going to display it all for you in one sitting. So, this is one I've shown you before. It's my Model 1904 Vajero bayonet. Nothing too special there. But as you can see, I've recently got a combination frog for it for an axe. I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to track down an axe. I might find a placeholder or try to make my own, but very, very cool. I never thought I'd get one of those. Next, got a French, it was originally a Lebel bayonet, an MLE 1886, that's been captured and converted into a Zeitengewehr 102F by Nazi Germany during the Second World War. I've got a video coming up on this one shortly, so watch this space. I really like it, by the way. Now we have my Berthier. I got this one as a little bit of a present from the wife after I had some minor surgery, and I managed to track down a frog for it. I'm very, very happy with that. I've had a good run with the frogs lately. I've got rid of most of my P1907s. This is the only one I have left, and I like this one. I mean, it's just a Wilkinson, nothing too special there, except this one was used in New Zealand, as you can see by the NZ. And while I have an Australian accent, I was actually born in New Zealand, guys, so anything from my homeland is very, very cool. And they're quite hard to find. They don't pop up very often. Then we have my model of 1870 Vendel NCO bayonet. I did a video on this one not too long ago. I fully intended to sell it, but I just fell in love with it. I can't let it go. So generally when I get bayonets for videos, I buy a bunch, like a batch of 10, and I might keep the best 2 or 3 and I'll sell the rest and then use that money to buy the next batch so I can just keep rolling through and keep doing videos. I don't actually keep that many. I don't know how many I have in my collection, but it's not that many really. And then we just have my Portuguese model of 1885. I love these. I love anything made by OEWG. They're just really, really cool. Another P1907. This one is really cool. I can't believe I forgot about it. It's the one with the transitional MA marking. So MA, and then Lithgow on the other side. I've done a video on it. Barely any of these were made. They are really, really hard to find. I was so lucky to get this one. I'm never selling it. Unlucky. I love it. I've got my Swiss model of 1914 Sawback. I thought it was my biggest bayonet. It's my second biggest after the Vendel. So I was obsessed with these for the longest times, and I don't know, it takes up a lot of space and doesn't really interest me as much as it used to. Then we have my FN49 bayonet. Now I've been playing around with the FN49 rifle all week, and it's such an underrated rifle and bayonet as well. Like, if you don't across these, the blade profile looks odd, but it's incredibly strong, incredibly sharp. And I rate this as probably one of the best bayonets ever made. Also makes a fantastic fighting knife. If it's a little bit shorter, it would be an absolutely ideal fighting knife. Next up, we have my KCB Long CS fighting knife. Made in the 80s, I believe, by Econ. Usually you come across the short versions, the bayonet versions, so very happy to have this one. And then we have one of my little Portuguese numbers. It's the M938. I get them all a bit mixed up. It's the MP34 bayonet. And essentially it's the same as the Vajero, except it's got a heightened muzzle ring and a shortened handle. This one's really cool because it's got a very low serial number, 142. Model of 1885. I did a video on this one like just last week. I love this thing. I got it dirt cheap. I've got a thing for shortened bayonets and a thing for Portuguese bayonets, so this just ticks quite a few of my boxes. Even though it's not Portuguese, it would have been used by the Boers in South Africa. We have my little Owen gun bayonet. This is a 1952 or 1953? 53. I was obsessed with the Owen gun bayonet for the longest time. It was my absolute favourite, and I got one, and it's still good, but I'm not as passionate about it as I used to be. So this one here was actually the first bayonet I ever got. I got it in a camping store for about 50 bucks like 13 years ago, 14 years ago. And it wasn't until a couple of years ago that I really got into bayonet collecting properly, but this is the one that started the addiction. And they're starting to creep up in price now, which is a bit of a surprise because they were dirt cheap for the longest time. Here we have my Dutch model of 1895 nil bayonet. These are incredibly hard to find, especially in good condition. This one's in poor to average condition. And you never seem to find them with scabbards. So maybe one day I'll find a placeholder scabbard, but I've got nothing to put it in yet. Generally, as a rule, I don't like to buy bayonets that don't have scabbards. I'm a bit funny that way, but I was happy to make an exemption for this. A Argentine model of 1891. It's in pretty good condition. I got it pretty cheap. Absolutely gorgeous bayonet and great reflection of what Argentina was in the 1890s. Being a reasonably rich and well-off country, strong ties to Germany. Here we have my, I've forgotten the exact name of this one. It's my Polish bayonet. I think it's like M28 or something like that. VZ28, no, WZ28 or something, but very cool bayonet. I got this one after my most recent surgery. I keep having surgeries. I still haven't done a video on it. That's coming, but a very nice bayonet. And cool thing about this one is it has a really decent gouge in the scabbard there. So whether that was done by shrapnel or being used as a tool, I don't know, but it's got some kind of story to tell. Finish M29, I think it was. Yeah, M29. Just did a video on this one a few weeks ago. Really like it. I bought this for like nothing. Like, I think I got it for like 50 Australian dollars. In US dollars, that's like 35 bucks or something. So I did really well with this one. And I'm not selling it. Mine forever. Got my Bulgarian AK bayonet, or 6H4, or 6X4, whatever it is. I like this one a lot because it's got the notches in the grip here, and they represent a month of national service that the soldier who was issued it completed. When I bought this one, I couldn't really tell based on the photos, but I had a suspicion based on the serial number printed in the handle like that it might have been a Tabuk, because I couldn't see any of the markings, and other than that, and down here as well. And I got really excited, thinking I found an absolute steal, and then when it arrived, it's just another Bulgarian one. It's like, but I like it, so I'll keep it. This one's not a bayonet. This is my little VZ75 Uton knife. I've taken this one field a couple of times. It's quite handy. Seen a little bit of use. Very sharp. But I don't know if I'm going to keep it. I might move it on and upgrade to something else. We'll see. Here's the jewel of my collection, my Portuguese AR-10 bayonet. I spent a lot of money getting this, and I don't regret it whatsoever. Absolutely gorgeous. I've done a great video on this. I've done a video on nearly every single one of my bayonets. I think I've only got like 2 or 3 to go, but yeah, this is definitely one of my favorites. Never selling it. And I'm hoping to track down the Sudanese AR-10 bayonet and the other variations of this one, being the Uzi and the Papua Corpse, but I don't like my chances. And if I can find more of these, I'll buy them as well, because I just think they're neat. I've got my Setme L bayonet. This was the second bayonet I got. So I'd had the STG 57 for like 10 years. This one here for like 10 years. And then I started reading up on it and got sort of a bit interested into it and jumped online to see if I could find more bayonets to buy. And I found this one for a good price and I jumped on it. If you haven't seen these, this one's unissued and unsharpened, but pretty cool little bayonet. We've got my Officer NCO M95 bayonet. I believe this one's Hungarian, or on the Hungarian side of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. But I got it dirt cheap from a tool shop. I like it. Here we have my L1A2. So this was actually the first video I did when I made this channel. And I like to think I've come a long way because that video is pretty rubbish. Maybe I'll revisit it at some point. But this is an absolutely gorgeous blade. And I'm still in the Army Reserve. I do the occasional duty now and then. And we do a couple of military funerals and for retired members. And in Australia, when you're an ex-serviceman and you're put to rest, it's generally acceptable to have a slouch hat and a bayonet on your coffin. And I've used this one a couple of times now for funerals. It sat on a few coffins. So as you can see, it was originally like a parade configuration. It's got the black paint on the frog and polished up the brass throat a little bit just to make it a bit more presentable and dressy, and it's a nice addition. I like this one a lot. Got my Polish AK. This was my first AK bayonet. I've had probably 10 and I've never sold this one. I've held onto it. I intend to hold onto it. They're really high quality compared to a lot of the others. No sawback. And yeah, I'll hold on to that. I don't see myself getting too many more AK bayonets. Like if I can get it to book, I will jump on that. But I don't know how many more of them I'm going to get. You might recognise this one from a recent video. This has skyrocketed to one of my favourites. That's my Finnish M62. These things are absolutely fantastic. I can't rate these enough. It's a shame they cost so much money. And someone shared with me one of the comments recently, a version of this that's like a combat knife. I can't remember what it is, like the M92 or something like that, but that's definitely on my list to get. Next we have my Portuguese M98. Nice little short dagger bayonet. Quality isn't the best, but there's a cool little part of history. And then I have my two valets. So I have one Belgian, one South African. I want to get an Argentine and any other valets I can get because they're really cool and I like them. The last couple aren't terribly exciting. I've sort of pulled things out of the box in random order and sort of the trash is left, unfortunately. We've got my Bock M7 in an Australian M10 scabbard. I love this bayonet. I can't rate it enough. I love the I don't know what you call that, but the construction of the blade, sort of that horizontal hatching there. Razor sharp, it's got a nick in it, someone's broken at some point. Bit of character. I love the rack number in the handle, and if I had to use any of these as a fighting knife, this would be the first one I'd reach for. When I was in the army and initially issued an M7, I thought it was absolute rubbish. But now that I've learned a bit more, I like to think it's probably one of the best made. These Australian scabbards sell for big money and they are next to impossible to find. I was very lucky to get that one. I'd love to get the matching bayonet one day. And last couple, not terribly exciting. I've got my number 4 Mark III, my number 4 Mark II Star, and my number 4 Mark II Canadian Arsenal. These things are really rare, like 1 of 5,000 made. These are dirt cheap, not terribly exciting, but you can't have a bayonet collection and not have, you know, one of each. And then finally, just got my little Air Force survival knife here. I got this pretty cheap actually from a guy I met on Instagram. So it's a very nice little bayonet. It's got the grey paint on the bottom there. But that's my entire collection. I'm probably going to move 2 or 3 items on shortly, and I've got a stack more that I intend to buy. I'm running out of places to buy them because everyone's jacking up their prices and they're getting harder and harder to find. I used to have quite a few like decent suppliers and they're all sort of drying up, but I'll keep trying. Anyway guys, if there's anything further you'd like to see, let us know, and thanks for watching.